Sorry, I was tending to food. Um, One of the pamphlets laid out on the desks. Oh yeah, they really did. Something like this will definitely help people talk about the club more take the club more seriously. Yeah, I thought so too. Flip through the pages. Member's poem is nearly printed on his own page, giving it an almost professional feel. Recognize Asuki's and Yuri's poems from the ones they performed during our practice. What's this? Oh, this is Yuri's poem, different from the ones she practiced. One I haven't read before. Get out of my head. Get out. Get out of my head. I finished writing this poem. I do what I know is best for you. Listen to everything she said to me. Get out of my head before I show you how much I love you. Get out of my head before I finish writing this poem. Poem is never really finished, it just stops moving. Ah, what is this? Reading this poem, I got a pit in my stomach. Nicholas? What's wrong? Ah, nothing. Poem feels completely different from everything else Sayori's written. But more than that, I changed my mind. I'm going to go get Sayori. I'm going to get Sayori's, so... Ah, well, alright. Try not to take too long, okay? We leave the classroom. Don't strain yourself. Monica calls that out after me. Quicken my pace. What was I thinking? I should have tried a little bit harder for Sayori. Not a big deal to at least wait for her, or help her wake up. Even the simple gesture of walking her to school makes her really happy. Besides, I told her yesterday that things will be the same as they always have been. That's all she needs, and what I want to give her. Reach Sayori's house and knock on the door. I don't expect an answer, since she's not picking up their phone either. Like yesterday, I opened the door and let myself in. Sayori really is a heavy sleeper. I swallow. I can't believe I ended up doing this after all. Waking her up in her own house isn't that more something that a boyfriend would do? In any case, it just feels right. Outside Sayori's room, I knock on her door. Sayori, wake up, dummy. There's no response. I really didn't want to have to enter her room like this. It was kind of like a breach of privacy. She really leaves me no choice. Gently opened the door. Sayori. Ellipses. What the heck? What the heck? This is a nightmare? It has to be. This isn't real. There's no way this can be real. Sayori would never do this. Everything was normal up until a few days ago. That's why I can't believe what my eyes are showing me. I suppressed the urge to vomit. Just yesterday. Told Sayori I would be there for her. Told her I knew I was the best and that everything will be okay. Then why? Why would she do this? How could I be so helpless? What did I do wrong? Tearing down a confession? Has to be what had pushed her over the edge. Her agonized scream still echoes in my ears. Why did I do that to her when she needed me the most? Why am I so selfish? This is my fault. Swarming thoughts keep telling me everything I could have done to prevent this. Spend more time with her, walk her to school, give her what I know she wanted out of the relationship. But I could have prevented this. I know I could have prevented this. Screw the literature club. Screw the festival. I just lost my best friend. Someone I grew up with. Gone forever now. Nothing I do to bring her back. This is some game where I can reset and try something different. I only had one chance and I wasn't careful enough. And now I'll carry this guilt with me until I die. Nothing in my life is worth more than hers. Still couldn't do what she needed from me. And now, I can never take it back. Never. 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 And not suitable for children or those raised and disturbed. Alright, we have to choose this one. Obviously. Oh golly. I see an annoying girl running towards me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. Girl is my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know the kind of friend you would never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. Used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. I rode a sign idle in front of my crosswalk and let catching up to me. Ordinary school day, like any other. Hey, achievement unlocked. Start a new game. Start a new game. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friendly groups walking into school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. I always tell myself it's about time I met some girls or something like that. I had no motivation to join any clubs. Perfectly content with just by going to on the average, by going on getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. I was the anime club, but it's not like there would be any girls in it anyway. School day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. I pack my things, start blinking at the wall looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs really aren't of any interest to me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. Instead, I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Nicholas? Monica? Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here. Been a while, right? Yeah, it has. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so generally feels a little... What you come in here for anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for some supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any other construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the big club, right? About that. I actually quit the debate club. Really, you quit? Yeah, to be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. Feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. Much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. Literature club. Literature? Sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? Haha. It's kind of embarrassing, but there's only 3 of us so far. Really hard for me to find any new members or something that sounds so boring. Well, I can see that. But it's really not that boring at all, you know? The literature club can be anything, reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps your manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? I always insist that manga is the literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monica say she? Hey, Nicholas. By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? I mean, I guess so, but in that case, any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at least, very least visit my club, I'd be very happy. Please? 'Cause I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monica? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Awesome. Really sweet, Nicholas, you know that. It's nothing, really. Shall we go then? Look for the materials another time, you're more important. I know. And thus today marks the day I sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. Objectively follow Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school that I rarely visit. Monica, full of energy, swings open the classroom. I'm back. And I brought a new guest with me. Eh? A guest? Seriously, you brought a boy? What do you call the atmosphere? I'll be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Nicholas. All words escape me in the situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So let me guess, you're Monica's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki, the girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is the one I don't recognize. Small figure makes her look like the first year student. Anyway, this is Natsuki, and energetic as usual. This is Yuri, the vice president. Nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparatively more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So I ran into Nicholas in the classroom, started to come check out the club. Isn't it great? Wait, Monica, didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? Going to, well, you know. Sorry, I didn't forget about that. I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Absolutely. That'd be great. Why don't you come sit down, Nicholas? Girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet, while Monica and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monica. So I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? President of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. Must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work real hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. Make school events like the festival that much more important. Confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. As different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. Carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before sitting down the teapot in the middle. Keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teacher gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess? Don't let yourself get intimidated. You're just trying to impress you. That's not it. Insulted Yuri looks away. I mean, I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but at least I enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, Nicholas, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read the past few years, I don't really have any good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Suki's head suddenly perks up. Hopefully she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? But without thinking of seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces a rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. Telling a good story in such a foreign world is quite equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. Seemed so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up. She finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, a lot of things can change. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of her own lack of imagination to completely throw you out for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I heard a horror book once. Just really grasped something I can relate to at a minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I expect that from you, Yuri. It suits you personally. Oh, is that so? Really, the story makes me think, or takes me to another world, but I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, what is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? Gives you that idea? Left a piece of scrap paper behind the class club meeting. Like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud. Give it back. Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Yeah, well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you just share them sometime? No, Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing in the level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing it to oneself. Be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. You have a writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Yeah, I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Next time we meet, we all share them with each other. That way everyone is even. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monica. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president, after all. I did my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, seems like a good step forward for us to take. Do you agree as well, Nicholas? Hold on, there's still one problem. And what's that? I reached the most important topic. I've only come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monica may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decisions. Still have the club to look at, and, I was my train of thought. All three girls stared back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought. Humph. Eh? Girls exchange glances before Monica turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Nicholas. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. I've been trying really hard to find new members. If we don't find one more before the festival, I'm defenseless against these girls. I'm supposed to make a clear-headed decision while it's like this. Would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. Besides, the club seems pretty relaxed. Writing a poem is a price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Nicholas? Yeah, it could be fun, right? It really did scare me for a moment. I mean, it really... If you really just left after this, I would be super pissed. Nicholas, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this, you're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess? Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remembers tonight's assignment. Write a poem and bring it to the next meeting, and we can all share. I want to close over once more. Nicholas, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. I really impressed the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills. I already feel the anxiety welling up inside of me. Meanwhile, all the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I'll be on my way then. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room to make my way home. The whole way up, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls. That's Doki, Yuri, and of course Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure that good fortune will find me. That starts with writing a poem tonight. Let's look out the Yuri one. Sure, I'll read it. Can't convince myself to go to therapy when I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'd rather keep this up until I blow my cover and someone takes me to the emergency room. Alright. Vivacious. Uncanny. Fickle. Valuable. Unending. Analysis. Infinite. Unrestrained. Entropy. Essence. That's vibrant. Of variance. Heaven sent. Aura. Congruent. Termination. Controllable. Unrequited. Effulgent. Disaster. Did that work? Because on the main menu, if you go to the files, it shows each of the words and like how much points you would get, I guess. Hi again, Nicholas. Good to see you didn't run away in this, haha. Now don't worry, this might be a little strange to me, but at least I kept my word. Back at the literature club, I was last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Nicholas. I hope this isn't too overwhelming what we're coming in for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you have a plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you take it seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Monica, can you back it up a little bit? Suki certainly has a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the back room. Manga? Suki finds herself to say Monica a manga. Manga is literature. Quickly defeated him, and Suki pops back into her seat. I love the Dutch angle. That's alright, Nicholas. We'll make sure to put your comfort first. Okay. Yuri shoots at Suki with a disappointing glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in the club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Oh, wait, I didn't mean it like that. Ooh. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything about it, I guess. Oh, no, it's not like that, Yuri. I want to try to be part of this club. Even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, I should help you get started on something that you might like. Yuri reaches into your bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so I should keep your attention. even if you don't usually read, and we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is the girl actually being so cute? You even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for this club. Doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. Nobody notices her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little more. At the same time, I would feel really bad. I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. Glimpse of her cover at the book, the same book that she lent me. More than that, she must be in the very first few pages. Ah, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. Takes another glance at me and her eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. Just spacing out. Uttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I were focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... It's a book that you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious how come you have two copies of the same book. Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. Oh, I see. Something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. Definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. Very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. Almost looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about there's a religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. People trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. So it gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and asphyxiating them too. That might be a bit of a little spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. Book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? You made it sound like it was going to be a nice story. A dark turn came out of nowhere. Ah, you're not a fan of that sort of thing, are you, Nicholas? No, it's not that. I mean, I could definitely enjoy these kind of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. So shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story is the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. What horrible things happen not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. And suddenly, I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest in it or anything. Well, this is alright then, but I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem where I let things like books and writing from my thoughts. My whole body gets incredibly... I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I'm talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. It just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... what are you saying? Let me just read the book. Quickly retrieve the book that I put in my bag. Alright. Is it fine if I sit here, right? Dipping into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. Not that I don't want you to. Something that I'm not very used to, and that is reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. Open the book and start the prologue. So I understand why Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. Not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over, it looks like she's reading from my book instead. This is sorry. I was just bathing in the feeling of you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to, I'm sorry. I mean... here, this should work, right? Set my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean into it a bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn the page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. Actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face just using the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Yeah? To turn to the page? Oh, sorry, I think I got a bit distracted for a second. Glance over to Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet again. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not that used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a little bit longer. Probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. Continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. So I kinda just assumed that she finished the page before me. I turned it by my own volition. Continued the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page and letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own limb, or her thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Eh? No, I don't relate to the character at all. Definitely not, really. I was just thinking the way she kind of second guesses the way she thinks she says and all that. Aha. That's what you're talking about. Sorry. But you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came to my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Eh? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since I started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Think what something happened just now? Yeah, I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything? Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. Nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? It might be a while, so I figured we'll get started without her. That okay? Yeah, I was just asking. Or I was just thinking. Stand up, I'm making a mental note of where I left off in the book. Back into my bag. Told Natsuki I was interested in her poems than yesterday. Probably only fair to share mine with her first. Nicholas, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe they actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe I'm not very good, but yeah, I did put effort in. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about, huh? Fine. Well, sorry. We'll get better anyway. I told you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I gotta share mine now. Knowing you probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Yeah. Told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. People don't even take my writing seriously. Isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style hasn't made wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Look at this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. The other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. I could set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. I was bringing out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into that than I realized. What it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Monica. Hi, Nicholas. Having a good time so far? Ah, yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities, or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring that up. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up, dude. I'm dying. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, I'm Want to share your poem with me? Kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Nicholas. We're all a little embarrassed today, aren't we? Or, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all have to learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Monica, my poem. Great job, Nicholas. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. Easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not really fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes the kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean like that like it's a bad thing though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. Spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. That's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri, I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being late. Don't need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm glad that you took your time that you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. Wish I should go get my poem now. You want to read my poem now? Don't worry, it's not very good. Actually, I'm pretty confident for someone who claims not to be very good. Because I have to sound confident. Doesn't mean I can always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in the wall when he wasn't looking at me, confused or frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes could no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? It's kind of frantic scrawling playing tricks in my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. Then the air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So what do you think? It's very freeform. That's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. That's okay. Yeah, the kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be very powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say the latter has some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. Epiphany? Something like that. Kind of nervous talking about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a starting point. You try so hard to make it perfect, and you'll never make any progress. Force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy up later. The way to think about this is, if you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you're going to get a big dark puddle of ink. Just move your hand and go with the flow. That's the advice for today. Thanks for listening. Yuri. Give me my achievement. Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, and ends up covering her whole face. Ooh, he's going to hate me. I really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. Why am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Some imagery and metaphors indicate that you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? It's a huge compliment coming from you. Actually, my first time, really. Huh? Appears to be blankly looking into my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off unable to find an excuse. Traces your fingers along the words in this poem, so breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. There are specific writing habits that are usually typical for new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick them up. On them. And the most noticeable thing I recognize of writers is they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick up writing style separate from the topic matter. They fit the two together. And the result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammer is completely gone, she sounds like an expert. Of course, it's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different scopes and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. I still can be a little bit biased, though. Biased now. Well, never mind. Shouldn't be talking about other people like that. Sorry. It's fine. Not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, or to me, or Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'll just share my thoughts behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if it's the rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? It's the same one. Sorry, that's such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Did it? Well, I just didn't read. I don't read script that often. I actually think your handwriting is very pretty. Ah, that's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it's really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. Really glad you liked it. I'll be honest, this is the first time sharing. I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you in a ghost, Yuri? Hoo-hoo. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Nicholas. Really, I must have totally missed the point. Well, suppose you did only glance over it after all. Remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. Usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to the ghost. Lingering in the last remaining places of comfort, unable to let go of her past, and soon to be left with nothing. A lot more solemn, putting it that way. I haven't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? Something really. Yours was impressive too, so nah. If anything, I could probably learn a little thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I'm really nervous about doing all this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Nicholas. Me too. Phew. This is everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities, even if they're just being nice. There's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. It's a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, on colors writing something on the notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. Gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As I read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Now, give me 1 second. Well, hello, I'm back. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What was that language? Eh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the dark desk with one hand. As you could say, it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? Completely about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. It's trying to say something nice. Yeah? You need to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really doesn't come out nice at all. Well, I have a couple of suggestions. Humph. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. People did, by the way. Monica liked it. Nicholas did too. Based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect to change it anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. Nicholas did like my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Tsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress your new member, Yuri. Yeah? That's not what you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Nicholas appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. Oh, and how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No, if I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Ooh. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger just as soon as Nicholas started showing up. And Natsuki. Oh, Natsuki, that's a little... That doesn't involve you. Taking out your own insecurities on other people like that. Really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Who's talking? You want to be edgy. Bitch. Edgy? Sorry, but my lifestyle is too much for someone with my mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know? want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with a sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Well, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh my bad, you already do that, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Nicholas hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Ah, suddenly Yuri turns towards me, and as she just noticed I was standing there. Nicholas, she's just trying to make me feel bad. Look bad. It's not true. She started it. I don't like you're dragged into this. Oh my god. Whatever. Hello. Hey Nicholas. Why don't we step aside for a bit? Okay? Sorry about that. I really shouldn't have tried getting you involved. Probably better for us to stay out of it. Well, we'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Ahaha. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. I'd rather have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, that's fine by me. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly Suki runs out of the classroom. Quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it's like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri's rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms in her forehead. Yuri? I didn't mean it. I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. Nicholas. Please don't hate me. Please, I'm not like this. Something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over. We can all go home if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something. Keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica. I'd stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take this responsibility today. And it sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much chance to discuss my book with Nicholas. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. Sigh. I don't really have a choice, do I? Sorry for causing trouble. I really appreciate... Okay. Let me see how the rating works, actually. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up online. Okay, I got all this different stuff here. Crimson's on there, pretty high up. I'm in alphabetical order, so. Graveyard's on there. I'm not passing that one. Is Universe on there? Yes. Massacre? Yes. Misfortune? No. Termination? Yes. Unrequited? No. Unrestrained? Yes. Incongruent? Bliss? No. Holiday? How would it be? Family? No. Excitement? No. Play? No, why would it be? Heart? No. Fun? No. Friends? None of these are on there. So, F. Also, we had a 1 in 401 chance for that glitchy word to appear, apparently. Nothing happens if you choose it, but... I just am very annoyed that... No, this is a much better table. Family is Sayuri. Holiday. Sayuri. Excitement. Sayuri. Bliss. Sayuri. Play. Theory. Heart. Sayuri. Or all just Sayuri. Fun. Sayuri. Friends. Fireworks. Whispers for... What's her face? Okay, never mind. We're good. Whisper is for, Yuri. Let's see. Empty. So, Sayori, peace. That is for Yuri. Memories. That's for Sayori. Poof. Poof is for Yuri. No, it's not. I'm on the wrong tab here. Oh, frick, man. Nasuki's on the right side. Well, whatever, just... We messed up already, so... I just couldn't do it. It's a sad thing. The day passes and it's time for the club meeting already. I've gotten a little more comfortable here over the past few days. Entering the club room, the usual scene greets me. Welcome back, Nicholas. Hey, Yuri. Not sure if it's me or if Yuri's expression, but if yesterday's quarrel still hangs in the air a little. I'll be right back.